Lisa Martinez walked deeper into the woods, her arms shaking as she carried the small basket. Inside, her twin babies slept peacefully, unaware that their mother was about to make the hardest choice of her life. The morning sun filtered through the tall pine trees, making patterns of light and shadow on the forest floor. She had been walking for 30 minutes now, following the old hiking trail that led away from the main road. Her worn sneakers crunched softly on the fallen leaves. Every step felt like walking through thick mud. Even though the path was clear and dry, the babies were only 6 months old. But they needed medicine that cost more money than Lisa could ever hope to have. Alex, the boy, had trouble breathing. Sometimes. Maya, the girl, had seizures that came without warning. The doctors said both babies needed special treatments that would cost thousands of dollars every month. Lisa worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices at night and stocking shelves during the day, but it was never enough. The bills kept coming. The electricity had been shut off 3 times. She had sold everything she owned that was worth anything. Her car barely ran. She had eaten nothing but bread and peanut butter for the past week so she could buy formula. For the babies, last night, Alex had stopped breathing for almost a minute. Lisa had to shake him and blow air into his tiny lungs to wake him up. She knew she was losing them slowly, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. "Someone else could save you," she whispered to the sleeping babies. "Someone with money, and a nice house and good doctors." Lisa found a small clearing surrounded by big oak trees. The spot felt protected, like a natural shelter. She knelt down and placed the basket gently on a bed of soft grass. She had lined the basket with her warmest blanket, the one her mother had made for her years ago. She pulled out a folded piece of paper from her jacket pocket. Her handwriting was shaky, but she had written everything important. The babies' names, their birthdays, their medical problems, and what medicines they needed. She had also written that she loved them more than anything in the world, but she could not take care of them properly. Lisa tucked the note into the blanket next to Maya's tiny hand. She looked at her children's faces one more time. Alex had her dark hair and serious expression, even when sleeping. Maya had lighter hair and smiled sometimes in her dreams. They were the most beautiful things Lisa had ever seen. "I love you both so much," she said, her voice breaking. "I hope someday you can forgive me." She stood up quickly and walked away before she could change her mind. She did not look back, but she could hear her own heart breaking with every step. What Lisa did not know was that she was not alone in the woods that morning. Jake Morrison had been hiking the same trail since before sunrise. He was the owner of 3 technology companies and had more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes, but none of that helped him sleep at night. Work stressed him out, and people always wanted something from him. The quiet woods were the only place where he could think clearly. Jake was 42 years old, tall and thin with gray starting to show in his brown hair. He dressed simply when he hiked, wearing old jeans and a plain t-shirt. Most people would not recognize him as one of the richest men in the country. He had seen the woman ahead of him on the trail. She was carrying something and walking slowly, like she was hurt or very tired. Jake kept his distance because she seemed to want to be alone. He was curious but respectful. When Lisa left the clearing, Jake watched her from behind a large tree. He saw her shoulders shaking as she cried. She walked past him without noticing, heading back toward the parking area. Jake waited until she was gone, then walked over to see what she had left behind. When he saw the basket with 2 tiny babies inside, he felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. He knelt down and read the note. The woman's desperation was clear in every word. She had not abandoned her children because she did not love them. She had left them because she loved them too much to watch them die. Jake looked at the babies. They were so small and helpless. Alex was starting to wake up, making soft baby sounds. Maya's little hand was curled into a tiny fist. Jake had never been married and had no children of his own. He had always been too busy building his companies to think about family. But looking at these 2 babies, something changed inside him. He felt protective and angry and sad all at the same time. He carefully picked up the basket and carried it back to his car. The babies were surprisingly light. He drove quickly to the nearest hospital, but instead of going to the emergency room, he parked in the parking lot and made some phone calls. Jake had connections everywhere. Within an hour, he had arranged for a private doctor to meet him at his house. He also had his assistant find out everything about Lisa Martinez. It was not hard to do when you had money and resources. By evening, Jake knew about Lisa's jobs, her bills, her apartment, and her situation. He also knew where she lived. The next morning, Jake knocked on Lisa's door. She answered wearing the same clothes from the day before. Her eyes were red from crying, and she looked like she had not slept at all. "Are you Lisa Martinez?" Jake asked. "Yes," she said quietly. "Who are you?" "My name is Jake Morrison. I found your babies in the woods yesterday." Lisa's face went white. She grabbed the doorframe to keep from falling down. "Are they okay? Are they alive?" "Please tell me they're alive," she said, tears already starting to fall. "They're fine," Jake said quickly. "They're safe. But we need to talk." Lisa stared at him for a long moment. "Are you going to call the police?" "No," Jake said. "I'm going to offer you a job." Lisa looked confused. "What kind of job?" "Taking care of your children," Jake said. "I want to adopt Alex and Maya, but I need someone to help raise them. Someone who loves them, and I want to pay for all their medical care." Lisa could not speak. She just stood there with her mouth open. "I have a big house and more money than I know what to do with," Jake continued. "Your babies need medical care, and you need help. We can help each other." Lisa started crying again, but this time the tears were different. "Why would you do this?" she asked. Jake thought about his answer. "Because yesterday I saw a mother make the hardest choice possible to save her children, and I realized I've been looking for something to do with my life that actually matters." 5 years had passed since that morning in the woods, and everything had changed for Lisa Martinez. She stood in the kitchen of Jake Morrison's large house, watching Alex and Maya eat their breakfast. The twins were now healthy 5-year-olds who filled the house with laughter and energy. Alex was building a tower with his cereal pieces, his dark eyes focused and serious. Maya was drawing pictures on her napkin while eating, her light brown hair falling into her face. They both looked nothing like the sick babies Lisa had almost lost in the forest. "Mom, Lisa, look what I made," Maya said, holding up her napkin. She had drawn what looked like stars connected by lines. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," Lisa said, wiping Maya's hands clean. "What is it?" "It's a map," Maya said simply. "To find our way home." Lisa smiled, but something about Maya's answer made her feel strange. The little girl often said things that seemed too grown up for a 5-year-old. Jake walked into the kitchen wearing his business suit. Even after 5 years, Lisa sometimes could not believe this was her life. Jake had kept his promise completely. He adopted the twins legally, paid for all their medical care, and hired Lisa as their full-time nanny. But more than that, they had become a real family. "Good morning, everyone," Jake said, kissing the tops of both children's heads. "How are my favorite scientist today?" "Dad, Jake, I made the blocks balance in a new way," Alex said, pointing to his cereal tower. "Want to see?" Jake sat down next to Alex and examined the tower carefully. "This is very good engineering, Alex. The weight is distributed perfectly." Lisa watched Jake with the children and felt grateful every day. He was not just paying for their care. He truly loved Alex and Maya like they were his own children. And the twins adored him. "I have to go to work now," Jake said, "but I'll be home early today. Dr. Rodriguez is coming to visit us." "Who's Dr. Rodriguez?" Lisa asked. "She's a scientist who wants to meet the twins. She's been studying some of their medical test results." After Jake left, Lisa took Alex and Maya to the backyard to play. Jake's house sat on 20 acres of land with woods, a pond, and plenty of space for children to explore safely. The twins loved being outside. Lisa sat on the porch steps and watched them play. Alex was building something with sticks and rocks, while Maya was lying on the grass staring up at the sky. This was normal for Maya. She could spend hours just looking at clouds or stars. "Mom, Lisa," Alex called out. "Come look at this." Lisa walked over to see what Alex had built. He had arranged the sticks and rocks in a perfect circle with lines going out from the center, like a wheel. "What is it, Alex?" Lisa asked. "It's for talking to people far away," Alex said matter-of-factly. "Like Maya's star map, but for sending messages." Lisa stared at the simple construction. It looked almost like the pictures she had seen of radio telescopes, but Alex was only 5 years old. How could he know about such things? "Alex, where did you learn about sending messages to faraway places?" Alex shrugged. "I just know it, like how Maya knows about the star maps." Lisa felt that strange feeling again. She had been noticing things about the twins for months now. They were both incredibly smart, but it was more than that. They seemed to understand things they had never been taught. That evening, Dr. Elena Rodriguez arrived at the house. She was a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and gray black hair. She carried a briefcase and a laptop computer. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with me," Dr. Rodriguez said as they sat in Jake's living room. "I work for the government, studying signals from space." "What does that have to do with Alex and Maya?" Lisa asked. Dr. Rodriguez opened her laptop and showed them a series of numbers and patterns on the screen. "These are radio signals we've been receiving from deep space for the past 10 years. We couldn't understand them until recently." She pulled out some papers from her briefcase. "These are copies of drawings and puzzles that Alex and Maya made at their doctor visits. Look at this." Lisa looked at Maya's drawings from her last checkup. They were filled with circles and lines and star patterns. Next to them, Dr. Rodriguez had printed out the space signals. The patterns were exactly the same. "This is impossible," Jake said, leaning forward to look closer. "We thought so too," Dr. Rodriguez said. "But it's not just Maya. Look at Alex's block constructions from his therapy sessions." She showed them photos of structures Alex had built during his physical therapy. Each one looked like a piece of complex machinery with perfect balance and mathematical precision. Next to the photos were technical drawings of radio equipment used to receive the space signals. How could they know these things? Lisa asked, feeling scared and confused. "We don't think they learned them," Dr. Rodriguez said quietly. "We think they were born knowing them." She turned to a new page in her briefcase. "We ran some additional tests on the twins' blood samples from their recent checkups. With your permission, of course. What we found was unusual." Dr. Rodriguez showed them a chart covered in scientific symbols. "Both Alex and Maya have genetic markers that don't match any known human DNA sequences. Not completely, anyway. They're mostly human, but there are differences." "What kind of differences?" Jake asked. "The kind that might explain why they can understand signals from space," Dr. Rodriguez said, "and why they're so much smarter than other children their age." Lisa felt dizzy. "Are you saying my children aren't human?" "They're human," Dr. Rodriguez assured her quickly. "But they might be something more than human, too." Jake stood up and walked to the window. "What do you want from us?" "Right now, just to study the signals and see if Alex and Maya can help us understand them better. If there's someone out there trying to communicate with Earth, we need to know what they're saying." Lisa looked toward the stairs where Alex and Maya were sleeping. "And if we say no?" "Then we respect your choice, Doctor," Rodriguez said. "But I think you should know that the signals are getting stronger, and they're coming from something that's getting closer to Earth." That night, after Dr. Rodriguez left, Lisa sat on the edge of Maya's bed. The little girl was sleeping peacefully, holding a stuffed animal. "What are you, sweetheart?" Lisa whispered. "And why did I find you in those woods?" Maya opened her eyes and looked at Lisa with an expression that seemed too old for her 5-year-old face. We're here to help, Mom Lisa, Maya said softly. When the time comes, we're here to help everyone. Then Maya closed her eyes and went back to sleep, leaving Lisa with more questions than answers. Downstairs, Jake was standing at his computer, looking at the financial reports from his medical research company. In the past 5 years, while treating Alex and Maya, his scientists had made discoveries that changed everything. They knew about genetics and brain development. Jake realized that finding the twins in the woods had not just saved their lives. It had started something much bigger than any of them had imagined. 10 years had passed since Lisa first met Jake Morrison in the woods. Alex and Maya were now 15 years old, and the world had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Lisa stood in the backyard of their home, watching her children work with strange devices that Dr. Rodriguez had brought from the government laboratory. The twins were no longer just unusually smart teenagers. They had become something extraordinary. Alex could solve mathematical problems that stumped university professors. Maya could look at star charts and point to places in space that scientists had never discovered. Both twins could touch alien technology and make it work, even when trained engineers could not figure out how to turn it on. The signal is getting stronger again, Maya said, adjusting a device that looked like a cross between a radio and a computer. They're trying to tell us something important. Alex nodded, his hands moving over a keyboard that had symbols instead of letters. It's not just one voice anymore. There are many of them, and they sound scared. Dr. Rodriguez walked over to where Lisa was standing. Over the years, Elena had become almost like family. She spent more time at their house than at her own laboratory. Any word from Jake? Elena asked. He's still in meetings with the government people, Lisa said. They've been talking for 3 days straight. Jake had built a special building on their property where the twins could work with the alien equipment safely. The government had provided the technology, but only Alex and Maya could make it function properly. They were the bridge between human science and something far more advanced. Mom Lisa, you need to see this, Alex called out. Lisa walked over to where the twins were working. On their screen was a picture of Earth, but it was not taken by any human satellite. The image was too clear and showed details that no Earth-based camera could capture. Where did this come from? Lisa asked. From them, Maya said simply. They've been watching us for a long time. The screen changed, showing what looked like a massive ship floating in space near Jupiter. It was beautiful and frightening at the same time, with smooth curves and lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. They're here, Alex said quietly. They want to talk. Before Lisa could respond, the air in front of them began to shimmer like heat waves on a hot day. Something was forming in the empty space above their equipment. Dr. Rodriguez grabbed Lisa's arm. Everyone stay calm, she said, but her voice was shaking. The shimmering grew brighter, and then a figure appeared. It looked like it was made of living crystal, about the size of a person, but completely transparent. Light moved through its body like blood through veins. Do not be afraid, the figure said, but its voice came from inside their heads rather than through their ears. I am Ambassador Zeph-7 of the Nexus Alliance. We have been waiting to speak with you. Lisa felt her knees go weak. She was looking at an actual alien being in her backyard. Alex and Maya seemed completely calm, as if they had been expecting this moment their whole lives. We know who you are, Maya said to the crystal being. You've been sending us messages. Yes, Maya Chin Morrison. And you, Alex Chin Morrison, have been answering them very well. Lisa noticed that the alien used both her last name and Jake's. Somehow, it knew their whole family history. Why are you here? Dr. Rodriguez asked, trying to sound professional, despite the impossible situation. Ambassador Zeph-7 turned toward her. We are here because the Devourers have found us. They have already destroyed 17 worlds in our alliance. Earth is next on their path. What are the Devourers? Lisa asked. The alien's light dimmed, like a person looking sad. They are a force that consumes everything. Planets, stars, entire civilizations. They turn living worlds into empty space. Alex stepped forward. That's why you made us, isn't it? Maya and me. We're not fully human. You are fully human, Zeph-7 said. But you are also something more. Long ago, we planted genetic seeds in your species, hoping that someday beings like you would be born. Beings who could bridge the gap between human and alien consciousness. Maya nodded as if this made perfect sense. We're supposed to help humans join your alliance. Yes, but we had planned to wait another 1,000 years before making contact. The Devourers have forced us to act much sooner. Jake's voice came from behind him. How much sooner? Everyone turned to see Jake walking across the yard with a group of people in military uniforms and business suits. He looked tired and worried. Jake Morrison, Zeph-7 said. The one who witnessed and chose to act. Your decision in the forest 15 years ago has changed the course of galactic history. Jake stared at the crystal alien. I just helped a family in trouble. And in doing so, you ensured that humanity's greatest assets would survive and grow. Without your intervention, Alex and Maya would have died, and Earth would face the Devourers with no hope of survival. One of the military officers stepped forward. Ambassador, we need to know how much time we have. Zeph-7's light pulsed rapidly. The Devourers will reach this solar system in 2 years. Possibly less. Can your alliance stop them? The officer asked. Alone, no. We have tried many times and failed. But with humanity's help, and with Alex and Maya to coordinate our efforts, we might have a chance. Lisa felt anger rising in her chest. You want to use my children as weapons? No, Zeph-7 said gently. We want them to be what they were born to be. Leaders, teachers, bridges between worlds. Alex and Maya looked at each other, then at Lisa and Jake. Lisa could see in their eyes that they had already made their decision. We want to help, Maya said. But only if our whole family can be part of it. And only if you help all of humanity. Not just us, Alex added. ZPH7's light grew brighter. This is exactly why we chose your species. You do not think only of yourselves. Dr. Rodriguez was taking notes on everything. What would this help look like? We would need to enhance human technology rapidly. Your ships, your weapons, your communication systems. But most importantly, we would need to enhance human minds. Jake frowned. What does that mean? It means giving your species the same genetic improvements that Alex and Maya were born with. Making all humans capable of working with our technology and understanding our methods of warfare. The military officer shook his head. That's impossible. You can't change the genetics of an entire planet, Maya smiled. Actually, you can, Alex. And I figured out how to do it 6 months ago. She walked over to another device and activated it. A holographic display showed Earth surrounded by a network of satellites. We've been working on this for years, Alex explained. A way to broadcast genetic modifications through radio waves. It would be completely safe and voluntary. Lisa stared at her children. You've been planning this without telling us? We've been getting ready, Maya said. Because we knew this day would come. Zeph-7 moved closer to the twins. Are you prepared to take on this responsibility? To help your species become something more than they have ever been? Alex and Maya looked at Lisa and Jake, waiting for their permission. Lisa thought about the scared young woman who had left her babies in the woods 15 years ago. She had been trying to save their lives. Now her children were trying to save the world. If this is what you want to do, Lisa said, then your family will support you. Jake nodded. All the way. The crystal alien's light pulsed in what might have been happiness. Then let us begin. 2 years had passed since first contact with Ambassador Zeph-7, and Earth looked completely different. Lisa stood on the observation deck of the orbital station that Jake's company had built around the planet. Through the large windows, she could see dozens of human and alien ships working together in space. The genetic enhancement program had worked better than anyone expected. When Alex and Maya broadcast their signal across Earth, millions of people chose to receive the upgrades. Now humans could work alongside. Alien technology is easily as using a smartphone. But the changes went deeper than just technology. Enhanced humans could sense things they never could before. They could feel the emotions of people around them and work together in ways that seemed almost magical. Lisa had chosen to be enhanced too, and the experience had changed how she saw everything. "The first ships are ready for launch," Jake said, walking up behind her. He looked older now, with more gray in his hair, but his eyes were bright with excitement. "Captain Henderson says the fleet will be ready to leave orbit in 6 hours." Lisa nodded, watching a massive warship drift past the station. It was built using both human engineering and alien science, and it was beautiful in a way that made her heart race. "Are Alex and Maya ready?" "They've been ready for months," Jake said. "Sometimes I think they understand this war better than the aliens do." Down in the command center of the station, Alex and Maya worked with Dr. Rodriguez and a team of enhanced humans. The twins were now 17 years old, but they carried themselves like experienced military commanders. Maya stood in front of a holographic display showing the solar system. Red dots marked the approaching Devourer fleet, still 6 months away, but getting closer every day. Blue dots showed the position of human and alien ships preparing to meet them. "We need to change our strategy," Maya said to the group of admirals. And alien commanders gathered around her. "The Devourers aren't just destroyers. They're running from something worse." General Patricia Wells, the head of Earth Space Forces, frowned. "What do you mean?" Alex touched the hologram, and it zoomed out to show nearby star systems. "Look at the pattern of their attacks. They're not destroying worlds randomly. They're following a specific path, moving away from something in the galactic core." Ambassador Zeph-7 materialized beside them, his crystal body pulsing with nervous energy. "This is new information. Our alliance has been fighting the Devourers for 300 years, and we never noticed this pattern." "Because you were too busy fighting to step back and look at the bigger picture," Maya said gently. "Humans are good at seeing patterns that others miss." Dr. Rodriguez pulled up data on her tablet. "If Alex is right, then the Devourers might not be evil. They might be refugees." "Refugees who destroy entire planets," General Wells pointed out. "Maybe, because they don't know any other way to survive," Alex said. "What if we could teach them?" The room went quiet. The idea of helping the Devourers instead of fighting them seemed impossible. "Even if that's true," Zeph-7 said, "they will reach Earth in 6 months. We don't have time to figure out how to communicate with them." Maya smiled. "Actually, we do. Alex and I have been working on something." She activated a new display showing technical drawings that looked incredibly complex. "We've designed a new type of ship, one that can interface directly with Devourer technology." "How?" General Wells asked. "The same way we interface with your technology," Alex explained, "through genetic compatibility. We think the Devourers were created by the same ancient civilization that gave us our abilities." Jake had been listening quietly, but now he stepped forward. "You want to fly into the middle of a Devourer fleet and try to talk to them?" "Not just us," Maya said. "We want to take a crew of enhanced humans, people who can think and work together in ways that individual minds cannot." Captain Roy Henderson entered the command center. He was a former Air Force pilot who had volunteered for enhancement 6 months ago. Now he commanded the largest ship in the human fleet. "The experimental ship is ready for testing," he reported to Alex and Maya. "But I have to say, flying that thing feels more like becoming part of it than controlling it." "That's exactly right," Alex said. "The ship doesn't have traditional controls. It responds to the thoughts and intentions of the crew working together." Lisa watched her children plan what might be the most dangerous mission in human history, and she felt proud and terrified at the same time. They had grown so much from the sick babies she had almost lost in the woods. "I want to go with them," Lisa announced. Everyone turned to look at her, Jake shook his head immediately. Lisa, it's too dangerous. I'm enhanced now too, Lisa said. And Alex and Maya will need family with them. They're still just 17 years old. Mom, Lisa is right, Maya said. We work better when our family is together. Ambassador Zeph7's light flickered. The danger is very real. No one has ever tried to communicate with devourers before. They might destroy your ship before you can make contact. Or they might be waiting for someone to finally talk to them instead of shooting at them. Alex said. Dr. Rodriguez looked up from her data. There's something else. The signals we've been tracking from the galactic core are getting stronger. Whatever the devourers are running from, it's getting more active. All the more reason to try talking instead of fighting, Maya said. If there's something out there that even the devourers are afraid of, then maybe we need to work together. General. Well, study the tactical displays. How many ships would you take? Just one to start, Alex said. If we can make contact, then we'll call for backup. If we can't, he shrugged. If you can't, then we'll know to prepare for the biggest battle in galactic history, Captain Henderson finished. Jake walked over to Lisa and took her hand. Are you sure about this? Lisa thought about the scared young woman who had carried her babies into the woods 17 years ago. She had made that terrible choice because she loved them and wanted them to have a chance at life. Now her children were offering to risk their lives to save not just Earth, but possibly the entire galaxy. I've never been more sure of anything, Lisa said. Over the next week, they prepared for the mission. The experimental ship was unlike anything humans or aliens had built before. It looked organic, like it had grown instead of being constructed. The inside felt alive, with walls that pulsed gently and controls that responded to touch and thought. The crew will be small. Alex and Maya as the primary communicators, Lisa as family support, Captain Henderson as pilot, Dr. Rodriguez as scientist, and 2 other enhanced humans as technical specialists. On the day of launch, Jake stood with them in the docking bay. He hugged Alex and Maya tightly. Remember what I told you when you were little, he said. Family takes care of each other. We will, Maya promised. And family comes home, Alex added. As their ship detached from the station and headed toward the outer solar system, Lisa looked back at Earth one more time. It was beautiful and blue and perfect, hanging in the darkness of space. Whatever happens, she said to her children, I'm proud of who you've become. We couldn't have done it without you, Mom Lisa, Maya said. You gave us the chance to become ourselves. The ship accelerated toward the unknown, carrying the hopes of 2 species and the love of family that had started with an act of desperate courage in a forest long ago. Lisa felt her stomach drop as their ship came out of faster-than-light travel. Through the front window, she could see the Devourer fleet spread across space like a dark cloud. There were thousands of ships, each one the size of a city, all moving toward Earth. They're bigger than we thought, Captain Henderson said quietly, his hands moving over controls that felt warm and alive to the touch. Alex and Maya sat at the center of the ship, connected to its systems through cables that looked like silver threads. Their eyes were closed, but Lisa could tell they were working hard to understand what they were seeing. The ships aren't just machines, Maya said without opening her eyes. They're alive. Each one is a living creature that's been turned into a weapon. Can you talk to them? Dr. Rodriguez asked from her station. We're trying, Alex said, but they're in pain. So much pain that they can barely think of anything else. Lisa watched her children work and felt helpless. After all these years of protecting them, there was nothing she could do now but trust them to save the world. Incoming message from the lead Devourer ship. One of the technical specialists announced the communication came not through their radios, but directly into their minds. It was like hearing someone scream inside their own thoughts. Go away. Hunger. Must feed. Cannot stop. Maya flinched from the mental contact. They're starving. Not for food, but for something else. Some kind of energy they need to survive. What? kind of energy? Captain Henderson asked. Alex's eyes snapped open. Life energy. They're feeding on the life force of entire planets because they don't know how else to survive. But that's killing them too, Maya added. Every planet they destroy makes them weaker, not stronger. They're dying and they don't understand why. Lisa, move closer to her children. Can you teach them? Maybe, Alex said. But first we need to show them that we're not a threat. The ship around them began to change. The walls became more transparent and gentle light started flowing through. The entire vessel. Lisa realized that Alex and Maya were making their ship look as non-threatening as possible. What are you? Came another mental message from the Devourers. This time it sounded more curious than angry. Maya responded using the ship's communication system. Her thoughts were amplified and sent out to the entire Devourer fleet. We are children of Earth. We want to help you. Cannot be helped. Hunger too strong. Must feed. Alex joined the mental conversation. What if we could show you how to feed? Without destroying. How to take only what you need and let planets live. There was a long silence. Then hundreds of Devourer ships turned toward their small vessel. Lisa felt a moment of terror, thinking they were about to be attacked. Instead, the largest Devourer ship opened what looked like a mouth in its front section. Show use, it said. Captain Henderson looked at Alex and Maya. What do we do? We go. Inside, Maya said simply. That's suicide, Dr. Rodriguez protested. No, Alex said. It's trust. They're inviting us in. If we refuse, they'll think we're lying about wanting to help. Lisa took a deep breath. Then we go. Captain Henderson guided their ship toward the opening in the Devourer vessel. As they flew inside, Lisa saw that the interior was not mechanical. At all, it looked like the inside of a giant living creature, with walls that pulsed in breath. They landed in what seemed to be a stomach chamber. The walls around them glowed with soft bioluminescence, like deep-sea creatures Lisa had seen in documentaries. The air is safe to breathe, Dr. Rodriguez reported, checking her instruments. They left their ship and walked into the Devourer vessel. Lisa stayed close to Alex and Maya, amazed by how calm they seemed in this impossible place. A figure approached them from deeper in the ship. It looked like a person, but it was made of the same living material as the ship walls. Its face was sad and tired. I am voice of the fleet, it said. I speak for all Devourers. We have been hungry for so long that we forgot what it was like to be full. Maya stepped forward. We can help you remember. How? Alex gestured to the walls around them. Your ships are alive. You're alive. But you're trying to feed like machines instead of living creatures. We feed on life energy, Voice of the Fleet said. There is no other way. Yes, there is, Maya said gently. You can feed on the energy that life creates naturally, without taking the life itself. Lisa watched as her daughter approached the alien being without fear. Maya placed her hand on the creature's arm. Feel this, Maya said, and suddenly the chamber filled with warm light. Lisa realized that Maya was sharing her own life energy, but not giving it up. She was showing the Devourer how energy could be shared instead of taken. Voice of the Fleet staggered backward. This is ... different. We feel full, but you are not weakened. Because sharing energy makes more energy, Alex explained. It doesn't destroy it. But how can we learn this? We have forgotten how to do anything but consume. Maya and Alex looked at each other, then at Lisa. She could see they had an idea that scared them. We can teach your entire fleet, Maya said. But we'll need to connect our minds to your ship network. That could kill you, Dr. Rodriguez said. Your brains weren't designed to handle that much information. But they might be able to handle it together, Lisa realized. Alex and Maya have always been stronger when they work as a team. Voice of the Fleet's expression changed. You would risk your lives to save us? Even though we have destroyed so many worlds? You destroy worlds because you were in pain and didn't know any other way, Lisa said. That doesn't make you evil. It makes you victims too. Voice of the Fleet was quiet for a long moment. Then it said, "The hunger madness has made us forget many things. But we remember pain. And we remember what it feels like to help instead of hurt." "Then let us help you," Alex said. The process took hours. Alex and Maya connected their minds to the living computer network that controlled the Devourer fleet. Lisa watched as her children's consciousness spread across thousands of ships, teaching each living vessel how to feed on natural energy instead of consuming life. At first, the connection was overwhelming. Alex and Maya shook and cried out as their minds tried to process information from an entire civilization. But Captain Henderson and Dr. Rodriguez helped by adding their enhanced human consciousness to the network, sharing the load. Lisa couldn't join the mental network, but she could help in her own way. She held her children's hands and whispered encouragement, reminding them that they were loved and that they could do anything when their family worked together. Slowly, the hunger madness began to fade from the Devourer fleet. Ships that had been dark and threatening began to glow with gentle light. The creatures that had spent centuries consuming worlds remembered what it felt like to create instead of destroy. When it was over, Alex and Maya collapsed from exhaustion, but they were smiling. "Did it work?" Lisa asked. Voice of Dash Fleet approached them, and Lisa could see that the alien looked different now. Less desperate and more peaceful. "We remember now," it said. "We remember who we used to be before the hunger took us. And we know who we want to become." Through the walls of the ship, Lisa could see the Devourer fleet changing course, turning away from Earth. "Where will you go?" Captain Henderson asked. "Home," Voice of the Fleet said. "To face whatever made us flee in the first place. But this time, we will go as healers instead of destroyers." As their small ship flew back toward Earth, Lisa looked at Alex and Maya sleeping peacefully after their incredible effort. "You did it," she whispered. "You saved everyone." But deep in her heart, Lisa knew this was only the beginning of their story. 5 years had passed since the day Alex and Maya taught the Devourers how to heal instead of destroy. Lisa stood in the observation garden of New Terra Station, watching children from 12 different species play together in the artificial. Sunlight. Her granddaughter Emma ran past chasing a small alien child who looked like a walking flower. Emma had Alex's serious eyes, but Maya's quick smile. She was 3 years old and could already speak 4 languages, including 2 alien ones. "Grandma Lisa, look what I made," Emma called out, holding up a sculpture made from colorful space clay. It looked like a family of different shaped beings holding hands. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," Lisa said, kneeling down to examine Emma's artwork. "Tell me about it." "It's everyone," Emma said simply. "All the different people who live together." Now, Lisa smiled. Emma had never known a world where humans and aliens didn't work together. To her, having friends from other planets was as normal as having friends from other countries. "Grandma, why are you crying?" Emma asked, noticing the tears in Lisa's eyes. "Happy tears, baby. These are happy tears." Alex walked over from where he had been talking with a group of engineers. He was 22 now, tall and confident, but he still had the same gentle nature he'd shown as a child. "The new colony ships are ready," he told Lisa. "We'll be able to start settlements on 6 more worlds next month." Lisa looked through the observation window at the massive ships being built in the space docks below. Each one was designed to carry families from multiple species to new worlds where they could build communities together. "How many people are signing up to go?" Lisa asked. "More than we have ships for," Alex said. "Everyone wants to be part of building something new." Maya appeared beside them, carrying her infant son, David. The baby was half human and half Nexus Alliance, with his mother's light hair and eyes that changed color like his alien father's. "The Restoration Council meeting went well," Maya reported. "The former Devourers have successfully helped 3 more hostile species learn to feed without destroying. We're getting requests for help from all over the galaxy." Lisa took baby David from Maya's arms and held him close. He gurgled happily and reached for her face with tiny fingers that sparkled slightly in the light. Any word from the deep space expedition? Lisa asked. Alex nodded. They found the source of what was scaring. The Devourers. It's not hostile, just very old and very powerful. The expedition team thinks it might be the original civilization that created all the genetic programs, including ours. Are they coming here? No, Maya said. They're waiting for us to come to them. They want to see what we've learned about. Working together before they reveal themselves. Lisa rocked baby David gently and thought about how much had changed. The scared young woman who had left her babies in the woods could never have imagined that her children would grow up to unite the galaxy. Jake appeared in the garden, looking older but happier than Lisa had ever seen him. He was now the head of the Galactic Development Foundation, which helped new species join the growing alliance of worlds. The Earth Council meeting is starting, he announced. Lisa, they want you to speak first. Lisa handed David back to Maya and smoothed down her formal clothes. She had been chosen to represent Earth at the founding ceremony of the new Galactic Republic, but she still felt nervous about speaking to such important people. What am I supposed to say? She asked. Just tell them the truth, Alex said. Tell them what you learned. The council chamber was filled with beings from dozens of different worlds. Some looked almost human. Others were completely alien, but all of them were here because they believed in working together instead of fighting. Walked to the speaking platform and looked out at the crowd. She saw Ambassador Zeph-7, his crystal, body glowing with what she now recognized as happiness. She saw Voice of the Fleet, representing the beings who were once called Devourers, but were now known as the Restored. She saw Dr. Rodriguez, Captain Henderson, and hundreds of other humans and aliens who had worked to make this day possible. 17 years ago, Lisa began, I was a poor woman who thought she had no choices left. I carried my sick babies into the woods and left them there, believing that someone else could give them a better life than I could. The room was completely quiet. I was wrong about having no choices, but I was right about one thing. My children did get a better life, not because I abandoned them, but because someone witnessed my choice and decided to help instead of judge. Lisa looked at Jake, who was sitting in the front row with tears in his eyes. Jake Morrison could have called the police that day. He could have let the system take care of my children. Instead, he chose to build a family with us. And that choice changed everything. She gestured to Alex and Maya, who were sitting with their own families. My children grew up knowing that family isn't just about blood. It's about choosing to take care of each other. And when they met beings from other worlds, they treated them the same way, like family. Lisa paused and looked around the room again. The old galaxy was full of species that fought each other because they were different. The new galaxy we're building today is full of species that help each other because they understand that being different makes us stronger together. Voice of the Fleet stood up. Lisa Martinez Morrison, the humans have taught us that hunger can be satisfied with sharing instead of taking. Will you accept our pledge to protect and nurture all life in this new republic? On behalf of Earth and humanity, I accept, Lisa said. One by one, representatives from each world stood and made similar pledges. They promised to share knowledge, protect the weak, and explore the galaxy together as one people with many forms. After the ceremony, Lisa returned to the observation garden. Emma was still playing with her alien friends, completely unaware that galactic history had just been made. Are you proud of what we built? Maya asked, joining her mother at the window. Lisa watched her granddaughter laugh as she played with children whose ancestors had once been enemies. She thought about the forest where everything began and how one moment of desperation had led to this future of hope. I'm proud of who you became, Lisa said, but mostly I'm grateful. For what? For Jake finding us in those woods. For you and Alex choosing to help instead of just survive. For all the aliens who trusted us even when they had no reason to. for Emma getting to grow up in a galaxy where everyone takes care of everyone else. Alex joined them, carrying his own. Daughter, Dr. Rodriguez wants to take a group back to Earth next week to visit the forest where it all started. Why? Lisa asked. To build a monument. Not to what happened that day, but to what it led to. A reminder that sometimes the biggest changes start with the smallest acts of kindness. Lisa smiled and hugged. Her children close. Through the window, she could see ships from 100 worlds working together to explore the galaxy. In the garden behind them, children who would never know war played together under artificial stars. Yes, she said. Let's go home. That night, as 3 generations of her family slept peacefully aboard the station, Lisa stood alone in the garden looking out at the stars. Somewhere among them, new worlds were being born. New species were learning to work together. New families were being formed, and it all started with 2 babies left in a forest, found by a man who chose love over judgment, and raised by people who believed that everyone deserved a chance to become their best selves. Lisa touched the glass window and whispered a thank you to the universe for showing her that sometimes the hardest choices lead to the most beautiful outcomes.